Hey, what's happening, Michael Beretta? Thanks for checking me out today. I kind of want to put this one out there for people to think about with regard to how warped some people are when it comes to thinking about what success or happiness is and what it means to people. In 2009, I had taken a position with Culture RX. They are the founders and developers of the results only work environment, ROW. If you haven't heard of it, please check it out. I've got some links out there for you. And it was a dream job for me. I was really, for the past 4 or 5 years, I was really getting into workplace culture change, and I started to follow them, commenting on the blog and all that kind of jazz. Callie and Jody are awesome. They were looking for a facilitator. I was like, let's do this. So they hired me in November of 2009. And it was part of they were doing it was part of a 2-year federal research study on workplace culture in blue collar and in white collar work environments. And the blue collar was healthcare settings, so resident care facilities in the New England area, a bunch of different states. I became the lead facilitator for that part of it, and it was incredible. One of the most rewarding professional experiences I've ever had. It was a 2-year study, so unfortunately, when the study ended, so did my employment. Kind of a shock, a little overwhelming, but I still got the experience, so it was great. So the end of 2011 was kind of tough, and it was, right? I can't sugarcoat it at all. Towards the closer to the beginning of 2012, a friend of mine had asked, have you ever thought about teaching? She worked at our local community college, and I said, no, I don't even know if I'm qualified to. She's like, well, where are you at? And I was like, I'm a class shy of my master's, which is the class I'm taking now. She's like, give it a shot. So I sent my resume, and no experience, and I didn't have my master's. They hired me. So in January of 2012, I was hired to teach general psychology, developmental psychology in this class called First Year Experience. So that was January of 2012. Since then, I've been teaching every semester at Luzerne County Community College, and I absolutely love it. Again, on one of the most rewarding professional experiences I have, and it's like brand new every semester because I get to meet new students. The funny thing is, and I understand it's because I'm an adjunct, and I don't want to say only anymore. That's kind of insulting, but I'm an adjunct faculty member, so I'm not a full-time faculty member. But because I'm an adjunct, when people talk to me, and people close to me, and even maybe people, from afar, they still don't view it as a real job. They don't consider the impact or the influence I'm having. So essentially, they don't consider the work I'm doing, right? Teaching, educating. They don't take into account how much I love it, which is a huge, big part of life with me, right? Like, how passionate are you about what you do? And I love what I do, right? So they don't take that into account at all. So because essentially I don't make the money of a full-time instructor, teacher, or any other kind of field out there, I'm looked down upon as not having a real job. I actually still have people say, when are you going to get a job? And I'm thinking to myself, I am a teacher. So I find it so interesting and sad how warped their mindsets are around what is considered successful or influential or beneficial to, the greater good. That is all goes down by the wayside because I'm not making $40,000 or $50,000 a year. So nobody looks at the work that I'm doing. Nobody looks at the love that I have for the work I'm doing. They just look at how much you get paid on Friday. That's really a crazy message to send to people. And I understand at the end of the day, I'm married. I get it, right? You got to pay bills. You got to make investments. You got to do all that kind of stuff, right? But what does bill paying, what does paying bills and making investments, what does that mean at the end? What does that mean at the end? When your story is written, right? Do you want them to read through chapter of, hey, really paid his bills on time? Or do you want it to be like, this person made a difference? They influenced people. They helped create learning opportunities for people to create greater things and make real changes, positive changes for the world. That's kind of where I'm at. I apologize if this vlog is a little long today, but this is something that's really been sitting with me. I think we really need to take a hard look at what success means and what it means to the individual. Again, there are some people who be like, yo, I'm an 8 to 4 Friday person. Rock it out. And if you're loving it, that's great. But there are people who, at the end of the day, of course, would want to be, making a quadrillion dollars. But they are still happy doing what they're doing because they love what they do. That's the driving force behind them, not the paycheck. And I think at the end of the day, when you really follow your passion and you really connect with it and you do it, the money part obviously is not a driver, but I think that'll come. And I think that's where the patience comes into play with regard to following your dreams and doing what you love. So I think we need to kind of take a step back and chill out with the only defining, factor with regard to are you successful is how much money you're making. I think we need to let that go.